Welcome to this brief presentation of selected changes to ICD-10-PCS for fiscal year 2020. I'm Lynn Kuehn.
Our first new device type for this year is something called an intraluminal device flow diverter. You may have seen this documented as a flow diverting stent, or one of the two popular trade names for these things, the Surpass Streamline Flow Diverter or the Pipeline Flex Flow Diverter. So these devices, the surplus one is shown here. These are superfine mesh, high-density mesh stents that go into the parent artery. They reduce blood flow to an aneurysm sac and take the pressure off the aneurysm sac, but there's nothing that goes into the aneurysm. It just stays in the parent artery, and then because this is superfine mesh, it sort of atomizes the blood into such fine particles that there's no more pressure on the aneurysm. And over a period of months, then the aneurysm sac just sort of tries to shrivel up and go back to its right size and is not then a potential rupture hazard for the patient. So let's look and see how that shows up in the device value in the table. And they are only concerned about the use of this device in certain vessels. They put this in upper arteries, and they only put it in a row that contains the intracranial artery, all of the parts of the carotid arteries, and the vertebral arteries that go up the back of the neck to feed the back part of the head. So that doesn't mean that they couldn't use, like the Pipeline or their Surpass stent, someplace else in the body. It just means that we won't have a specific device value for those. We just code intraluminal device for it then. But this is specifically to track how this particular device works in these vessels that feed the head. So let me show you a couple of pictures here to help you see how this works. In the left-hand picture, you can see that the stent is so fine that you can hardly even see it in the drawing. It's delivered by catheter, as shown here, and then the catheter would leave, and then once the artery with its pulse, every time there's a pulse, there will be a poof of blood, of this atomized blood. So in the post-placement angiogram on the right-hand side, you can see that the blood is no longer pouring into that aneurysm, and it's just a very light mist. And shortly that aneurysm will start to kind of shrivel up and won't be a problem anymore.
If you would like more details on coding in the ICD-10-PCS system, Libman Education offers my 3-course package to take you from beginner to advanced. Thanks for listening.